Hey all, we are winding down to the end of October 2024. I try to do highlights on fruit that's ripening up in my yard by month, so you get an idea of what's possible in our climate. So I want to start out with figs. Figs don't just ripen in October, they actually start ripening for me in June and then continue into December. Usually January is about when we start getting frosts and the trees defoliate, and even if you do have some fruit remaining on the tree, it's not going to taste very good. The sugars just can't develop with such cold. But October is definitely a nice time for our second main crop. So this tree here is my Panache Tiger. When you see that the neck is kind of drooping like this, soft to the touch, you know that it is ready to go. But this is a delicious fig, has more of those berry notes, very sweet. This is not the only fig that's ripening up. Kumquat, so that's another one that's going to be ripening in October. I actually find that kumquats ripen for quite a long season here. Actually get them throughout the year. But you can see this little Nagami kumquat is pretty well loaded with fruit, and it's flowering now as well. Another citrus item that is ripening up for me right now are the variegated pink lemons. I like this variety just because it gives me that longer harvest window. My standard Eureka lemon tree really doesn't start ripening its lemons until November and then carries that on through May. But this particular variety will actually start ripening lemons for me in September. So it's not as productive as the standard Eureka lemon just because it does have that mutation in it, the variegation, which tends to make the plant a little bit weaker, but still produces hundreds of lemons here. So a nice one if you want to extend that window to have fresh lemons almost year round in your yard. Okay, another thing that ripens here in October are olives. This is my Arbequina olive tree. And these actually start ripening in September. So you can see like this one has actually dried on the tree here. So that one ripened last month. But a good majority of them are going to finish ripening this month and then continue actually into November. Another fruit tree that is providing ripe fruit for me right now is my Suebelle white Sapote. This is a very established tree, and October is not the only month that this will actually produce ripe fruit. It really starts ripening its fruit anywhere from late summer to late fall. So just to show you, not all the fruit is, in the same stage of ripeness. Some of them are still slightly green, so these will actually ripen up in November. And then I even have some really immature ones, that set fruit later. This might even ripen in December. White Sapote is quite nice in that once you get your tree to a mature size, it will ripen fruit for you for a good 6 months out of the year. And another fruit tree that's producing tons of ripe fruit right now for me is the key lime. These will actually start ripening in September, but I get probably my largest set of fruit here in October. You can see actually the ground is just littered in these limes because I can't keep up. So not only is my key lime ripening, but also my bear's lime as well. If you're growing Sapodilla, this is another one that can ripen up fruit for you at this time of the year. This is a Molix Sapodilla that I just put in last year. This fruit actually takes a whole 12 months to ripen. So this won't be ready until this time next year. I really haven't had good luck with getting fruit set on Sapodilla. This is actually the first time I've gotten fruit. Even though I grew a different variety for 6 years, it never fruited for me. I did hear the trick is to increase the humidity when they're flowering. A lot of the reason that this struggles to set fruit in our climate is our dry, windy conditions is not good for that pollen to help set. So if you can mist it during the time that it's opening its flowers and then also pinching those flowers, that can help encourage fruit set. Find a variety that's going to flower in the fall time. I think you'll have better luck because our temperatures aren't as hot like they would be in spring, where that pollen could potentially not be viable. That's another one that could be fruiting for you right now. Okay, another one that ripens in October is going to be your Asian pear. This is 20th century rootstock and predominantly has grafts of Tennosui on them. I harvested all the fruit off of this already about mid-October, so there's nothing left as we are now at the end of October. But definitely another one that checks the box for fall fruit. Really do like the Tennosui variety. It's a good one for our area. So another plant that is producing fruit in my yard, albeit not too heavy this year, is the Barbados cherry. You can see immature cherry here. This is also known as acerola. Typically this time of the year, my tree is just covered in red cherries. We did have some strange weather patterns this year. Cooled down and then subsequently had really high temperatures like other parts of the country. And so what happened was all those flowers that set did not actually have a chance to set fruit. So the pollen dried out and therefore did not set a lot of these cherries. So we'll see if this is just delayed or if we're going to just miss that big fall harvest of this fruit tree. But in general, this fruit's very heavy in spring, around May time period, and then also very heavy in October into November. Again, depending on weather, these guys like it pretty warm in order to fruit, but not so hot, not exceeding that 105 degree Fahrenheit temperature. So this was just a quick rundown of what's ripening in my yard. Hopefully that helps you if you're trying to extend your harvest and pick fruit trees that'll cover you for each month of the year. Let me know if you have questions. Thanks for watching and happy gardening.